My name is Jake, and this is my story. So I've been burdened, and I've been talking to my wife about it a lot, and we've been talking at a small group, and that we wanted God to open up doors for us to share the gospel with people on a more regular basis, and how we miss everyday opportunities. So while I was at Dinosaur Barbecue, my manager happened to be in town for a field ride, and we were sitting there, and I noticed him. He was looking out the window, and right behind us, Dinosaur Barbecue, is the falls and the rushing water, and he was like, "Man, could you just imagine falling in there? That would be crazy." And I looked back and I was like, "Oh yeah, you definitely wouldn't survive that." And I looked at him and I thought, here's an opportunity. I'm gonna just go out on a limb. But I brought up the conversation and I said, "Do you believe in heaven or hell?" And he just looked at me as if no one has ever asked him that question before. And he said, "I really don't know, but I hope I would go to heaven." For the next 2 hours, we talked about everything, and why I believe what I believe, and what Christ has done in my life. And we sat there, and at the end of it all, he just looked at me and he said, "No one's ever said this to me before." He, multiple times in the conversation, kept saying, "Man, I guess I never really thought about it, but I just don't know. What is my purpose on this earth? Like, what if I am going to die? What about my children? What about my wife?" We get done talking, and he looks at me and he says, "Why would you even tell me all this?" Like, he just couldn't believe that we just spent 2 hours talking about God. He said, "Why would you even tell me this stuff?" And I said, "Well, you know what? I love you, and I've grown to appreciate the relationship that we have, and I would hate to know that I never told you the truth." I said, "We have no idea what could happen when we walk out and get in the car, especially with me driving. And you never know what could happen and when our lives could be over." And he just kind of chuckled at me and he said, "You know what? I never even thought about that before, but thanks for telling me." So that night, me and Cheryl had the opportunity to go to dinner with him again, and we bought him a Bible and we got him an Ultimate Question book here from church. I gave it to him that night, and he took it home to his hotel, and he read through the entire Ultimate Question books, and he started reading the Gospel of Matthew. You sit back and you're like, man, how am I'm missing opportunities every single day, the people around me, where I see these same people over and over, and most of the time, and most of us see the same people that we work with over and over. Why are we not telling them? I know we've been praying in life group that God would open the door for us to share the gospel with somebody. But was it that he actually opened the door, or was it that he actually opened my eyes to see the opportunities around me every day? Although I'm sure it was a risk for me to ask that question to my boss that day at Dinosaur Barbecue, it was well worth it. My name is Jake, and I'm a missionary.